Don't be fooled by the internet. It's cool to get on the computer, but don't let the computer get on you. It's cool to use the computer. Don't let the computer use you. You all saw The Matrix. There's a war going on. The battlefield's in the mind. The prize is the soul.
All right, y'all. Yo, we are live again, back in full effect with another show for y'all. Yo, we're going to get into this Ghislaine Maxwell deposition. We're going to also get into a lot of these congressmen that was up there that seen the files. They seen what was redacted, and they saying there's some people that need to be looked into, but they're remaining quiet. So we got to get into this. We
already knew it was some more people that need to be looked into, of course.
And it's crazy because all the dirt is this is one of them times where people are being exposed. All the dirt shit over the years is being exposed, and this is a time where people need to be going to jail for the most corrupted stuff that's been taking place within our government, within corporations and all that. So I don't know who the hell they covering, whoever they covering up.
They ain't had no problem throwing R. Kelly in jail, so why ain't other people going to jail? They ain't had no problem throwing Tory Lanez and Diddy into jail.
Yeah, Bill Cosby.
No problem with that. Bill Cosby, yup. What's going on out here? But these people are above the law.
It seems like that's
more names that need to be looked into.
Yep.
Make sure y'all double tap the screen, like this video, share this video.
Share it out. Yeah, I'm trying to share it now too.
We about to get into this, man. This is insane out here.
So what you want to get into? You want to get into Ghislaine first, or you want to get into these congressmen that seen the redacted files? What you think we should get into first? What y'all want us to get into first?
Ghislaine.
Y'all want to get into Ghislaine?
Yeah.
All right.
Ghislaine.
Yeah. Let's get into Ghislaine, y'all.
Ghislaine, aka Ghislaine.
All right, so Ghislaine did she did met with them people again, and she basically said she ain't really talking about nothing until she gets some type of clemency. So she basically pleaded the fifth. She's pleading the fifth. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into this. Make sure y'all double tap the screen. Let me know if we good on audio too, on the video.
Committee on Oversight and Government Reform under the authority granted to it pursuant to House Rule 10. Accordingly, House Rule 10 grants the committee broad jurisdiction for the committee to conduct investigations of any matter at any time. On July 22nd, 2025, the Subcommittee on Government Operations of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform voted by voice to approve a motion directing the chairman to authorize and issue a subpoena to Ghislaine Maxwell for a deposition. On July 23rd, 2025, Chairman Comer issued a subpoena for Ghislaine Maxwell to appear today for a deposition in furtherance of the committee's investigation into the actions and investigations of Mr. Jeffrey Epstein and Ms. Ghislaine Maxwell. I will enter the subpoena and corresponding cover letter as Exhibit 1. I will enter as Exhibit 2 a letter dated July 29th, 2025 from David Oscar Marcus, counsel for Ms. Maxwell, stating in short that his client would invoke her Fifth Amendment rights and request for the deposition to occur after the resolution of her Supreme Court petition. I will enter as Exhibit 3 a letter dated August 1st, 2025 from Chairman Comer to David Oscar Marcus, stating that the committee would continue its good faith negotiations and postpone Ms. Maxwell's deposition pending the resolution of her Supreme Court petition. I will enter as Exhibit 4 a letter dated January 20th, 2026 from David Oscar Marcus to Chairman Comer outlining that his client still intended to invoke her Fifth Amendment rights. The committee noticed today's deposition on February 4th, 2026. I will enter the notice for this deposition as Exhibit 5. Can the witness please state her name and spell her last name for the record?
Before she does that, this is David Marcus, and I just wanted to introduce her and make a brief statement. So members of the committee, on my advice, Ghislaine Maxwell will respectfully invoke her Fifth Amendment right to silence and decline to answer questions today, even though she would very much like to answer your questions. She must remain silent because Ms. Maxwell has a habeas petition currently pending that demonstrates her conviction rests on a fundamentally unfair trial. For example, jurors lied during voir dire to secure seats on the jury, and the government promised immunity and then broke that promise. Newly discovered documents now demonstrate these facts conclusively. If this committee and the American public truly want to hear the unfiltered truth about what happened, there is a straightforward path. Ms. Maxwell is prepared to speak fully and honestly if granted clemency by President Trump. Only she can provide a complete account, and some may not like what they hear, but the truth matters. For example, both President Trump and President Clinton are innocent of any wrongdoing. Ms. Maxwell alone can explain why, and the public is entitled to hear that explanation. Thank you, members of the committee, for having us today. Ms. Maxwell can now proceed to answer her questions with the Fifth Amendment. Thank you.
Can the witness please state her name and spell her last name for the record?
It's Ghislaine.
Ghislaine Noel Marion Maxwell, Maxwell.
Thank you. My name is Jack Emmer, and I am the Chief Counsel for Investigations for Chairman Comer. Under the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform's rules, you are allowed to have a counsel present to advise you during this deposition. You have a counsel representing you in a personal capacity present with you today.
Correct.
Will counsel please identify themselves for the record?
Go ahead, Leah. You can go first.
Leah Safian, LeahSaffian.
Is it her lawyer?
Thank you, Jack. This is David Marcus here, and my colleague Melissa Madrigal is also present.
Thank you. For the record, starting with the majority staff, can the additional staff members please introduce themselves with their name, title, and affiliation? Starting with the majority, can members of Congress please identify themselves for the record?
James Comer, Chairman of the House Oversight Committee. Andy Biggs, Arizona, 5th Congressional District.
William Simmons, South House, 4th Congressional District.
Melanie Stanford, Congresswoman, New Mexico First Congressional District.
Raja Krishnamurthy, Illinois 8th District.
James Walkinshaw, Virginia's 11th District.
Suhas Silverline, Virginia's 10th District.
Ro Khanna, California 17th District.
Robert Garcia, Ranking Member, Oversight.
Thank you all. Ms. Maxwell, before we begin, I would like to go over the ground rules for this deposition. The questioning will proceed in rounds. The majority will ask questions for an hour, and then the minority will have an opportunity to ask questions for an hour if they choose. To the extent members have questions for the witness, they will be propounded during their side's respective rounds. The clock will stop if you need to confer with counsel, your counsel is speaking, and when members or staff are speaking during the opposing side's rounds of questions. We will alternate back and forth until there are no more questions. Do you understand?
I do.
There is a court reporter taking down everything I say and everything you say to make a written record for the interview. For the record to be clear, please wait until the staffer questioning you finishes each question before you begin your answer, and the staffer will wait until you finish your response before proceeding to the next question. Further, to ensure the court reporter can properly record this deposition, please speak clearly, concisely, and slowly. Also, the court reporter cannot record nonverbal answers such as nodding or shaking your head. So it is important that you answer each question with an audible verbal answer. Do you understand?
I do.
We had a member just join. Can they identify themselves for the record? Thank you. Exhibits may be entered into the record. Majority exhibits will be identified numerically. Minority exhibits will be identified alphabetically. Do you understand?
I do.
We want you to answer our questions in the most complete and truthful manner possible, so we will take our time. If you have any questions or do not fully understand the question, please let us know. We will attempt to clarify, add context to, or rephrase our questions. If we ask about specific conversations or events in the past and you are unable to recall the exact words or details, you should testify to the substance of those conversations or events to the best of your recollection. If you recall only a part of a conversation or event, you should give us your best recollection of those events or parts of conversations that you do recall. Do you understand?
I do.
You are required by law to answer questions from Congress truthfully. This also applies to questions posed by congressional staff in this deposition. Do you understand?
I do.
If at any time you knowingly make false statements, you could be subject to criminal prosecution, including but not limited to perjury. Do you understand?
I do.
This includes both knowingly providing false testimony, but also stating that you do not recall or remember something when in fact you do. Do you understand?
I do.
Furthermore, you cannot tell half-truths or exclude information necessary to make statements accurate. You are required to provide all information that would make your response truthful. A deliberate failure to disclose information can constitute as a false statement. Do you understand?
I do.
Is there any reason you are unable to provide truthful testimony in today's interview?
Well, as you know, she's going to take the Fifth Amendment. So that's our caveat to that question.
Please note that if you wish to assert a privilege or any statement today, that assertion must comply with the rules of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. Pursuant to that, Committee Rule 16C1 states, for the chair to consider assertions of privilege over testimony or statements, witnesses or entities must clearly state the specific privilege being asserted and the reason for the assertion on or before the scheduled date of testimony or appearance. For the purposes of the deposition, objections must be stated concisely and in a non-argumentative and non-suggestive manner. If the witness refuses to answer a question to preserve a privilege, the committee may seek a ruling from the chair. If the chair overrules any such objection, the witness shall be ordered to answer. If the witness continues to refuse to answer a question despite being ordered to do so, the witness may be subject to sanction. Do you understand?
I do.
Ordinarily, we take a 5-minute break at the end of each hour of questioning, but if you need a longer break or a break before that, please let us know and we will be happy to accommodate. However, to the extent that there is a pending question, we would ask that you finish answering the question before we take the break. Do you understand?
I do.
Finally, I will note for everyone here today that the contents of what we discussed in the deposition today is confidential under the House deposition regulation. Under the rules, the chairman and ranking member, minority members shall consult before any release of testimony or transcripts, including portions thereof. This means it is a violation of House committee rules to disclose the contents of the deposition prior to its official release. For this,
and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Ms. Maxwell, do you have any questions before we begin?
I do not.
The time reads 10:14 and the majority's time will begin now. Ms. Maxwell, were you a close friend and confidant of Jeffrey Epstein?
I would like to answer your question, but on the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer this question and any related questions. My habeas petition is pending in the Southern District of New York. I therefore invoke my right to silence under the Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution.
Let the record reflect that Ms. Maxwell has invoked the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination. Ms. Maxwell, please be very clear. Are you declining to answer the question put to you solely on the ground that you believe the answer will incriminate you?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Ms. Maxwell, did you at any time play any role in Jeffrey Epstein's activities involving the recruitment, grooming, or trafficking of young women or girls?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Let the record reflect that Ms. Maxwell has invoked the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination. Ms. Maxwell, please be very clear. Are you declining to answer the question put to you solely on the ground that you believe the answer will incriminate you?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Ms. Maxwell, have you ever coerced, directed, or otherwise instructed any young woman or girl to provide sexual favors to Mr. Epstein or any other individual?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Let the record reflect that Ms. Maxwell has invoked the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination. Ms. Maxwell, please be very clear. Are you declining to answer the question put to you solely on the ground that you believe the answer will incriminate you?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Ms. Maxwell, did you and Jeffrey Epstein attempt to surround yourselves with influential individuals to curry favor and shield yourselves from potential scrutiny?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Let the record reflect that Ms. Maxwell has invoked the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination. Ms. Maxwell, please be very clear. Are you declining to answer the question put to you solely on the ground that you believe the answer will incriminate you?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Ms. Maxwell, can you please provide us with all the names of other additional co-conspirators to the crimes perpetuated by you and Jeffrey Epstein?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Let the record reflect that Ms. Maxwell has invoked the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination. Ms. Maxwell, please be very clear. Are you declining to answer the question put to you solely on the ground that you believe the answer will incriminate you?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Ms. Maxwell, is it your intention to answer every question put to you by the committee today with the assertion of your Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
The answer to that is yes also. So just as her lawyer, I'll tell you, yes, that's her intention.
Does the minority wish to ask any questions? We will go off the record.
So Ghislaine.
We can go back on the record. Good morning, Ms. Maxwell. My name is John.
Miss Maxwell.
Good morning. My name is
Miss Maxwell. She belongs in prison, man.
Questions on behalf of the minority as well.
Get out early.
At any point during your personal relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, were you aware that Mr. Epstein was sexually abusing minors and adult women?
I would like to answer your question, but on the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer this question and any related questions. My habeas petition is pending in the Southern District of New York. I therefore invoke my right to silence under the Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution.
Have you ever facilitated the sexual abuse of any minor or adult woman by Mr. Epstein?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Have you ever participated in the sexual abuse of any minor or adult woman?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Are you aware of Donald Trump ever engaging in sexual activity with an individual introduced to him by you or Jeffrey Epstein?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Okay. It appears that the committee will not receive substantive answers from you at this deposition. So at this point, I'd like to enter into the record as minority exhibits A and B, letters that the committee has received from survivors of Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell's abuse. These letters speak to the survivors' horrific experiences and to their desires for transparency, accountability,
and justice in this investigation. We hope for their sake that we are ultimately able to get the answers that they deserve and that we were unable to get here today.
Maxwell don't deserve no clemency. She deserved to stay right where she had, in prison, in jail, locked up. She don't have grounds to stand on to get clemency. Like, you committed crime, you helped assist Jeffrey Epstein to commit crimes, so you deserve to be right where you at. So why should she get out in jail early when she was accessory to all the crimes that Jeffrey Epstein?
They abuse men, women, and children. They all need to be in jail, getting an electric chair or a needle in their arm. Let's just be real about this. And then you could tell she still think that she's innocent. She talking about getting out. She talking about she gonna talk if she able to get out.
Right.
And she don't even want to give up the other name she knows that's involved. That goes to show you she ain't sorry one bit. And as soon as she get out, she gonna continue operation as usual.
Exactly.
'Cause that's all she know. We know damn well what this is about. If he let her out, man, you know for sure they all working together.
That means this was the plan.
They all for sure.
Yep.
All along.
It was the plan all along for her to take the fall.
Yep.
Take the fall, and they basically told her, "Look, we'll be out to get you later, but we need you to take the fall."
We gonna get Epstein out first. We gonna sneak him out the back, and we gonna come and get you later.
All right.
That's how they operate, folks.
Yep.
Trump might burn her. Trump might burn her though.
Yeah, he known for that.
Or who knows? Right. She could still end up on the pardon list. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. So what this is about. All right. So you want to get into the Congress? Let's get into what the Congress said they witnessed. So this is Rep. Anna Paulina Luna, after seeing the redacted files, Ghislaine Maxwell, and is a monster. She said Ghislaine is a monster. Let's get into it. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
Real quick, you said that you do not support at all Ghislaine Maxwell getting any clemency for her testimony. Why is it important for her to be held accountable?
Well, because according to the files that we all saw, she was engaged in the trafficking and also rape of young women and potentially children. I don't think that she deserves any special treatment. She's a monster.
And are you able to see the DOJ unredacted versions?
I'm going to be going tomorrow. There's I think every member of Oversight has gone through so far, or is going to be going through so far. So yes.
Tomorrow will be your first time?
No, my second.
Okay. Is there anything you can share from what you saw today?
I've posted about it publicly, but some of the people that are in the most egregious redactions are claiming to be victims, and I don't think that they're victims if you're engaging in child sex trafficking.
Got it. So, real quick, you said that you do not support at all Ghislaine Maxwell getting any clemency.
She said Ghislaine is a monster. So the evidence in the file shows. Let me get to these other ones too. Hold on. What's this it? All right, hold on.
They like Gotham City villains and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They on a whole nother level, man.
Right. All right, here's the other one right here. This is Rep. Lauren Boebert is pissed after seeing the unredacted Epstein files. She said, "I don't think Maxwell should get more time, and she than she should, definitely." All right, let's get into this. Let me know if we can hear it too.
Congresswoman, are you among the members who got to see the unredacted files today?
Yes, I saw some of them, not all of them, obviously. And I'll be going back tomorrow to see more.
Any reaction on what you've seen so far?
I think that there's folks who are definitely implicated and co-conspirators. And, I don't think everyone there that was talking about underage girls being trafficked are victims.
Got it. And do you support any clemency for Ghislaine Maxwell? She was saying that
I do not. Okay. I think Ghislaine Maxwell should get more time, and she should definitely be in a harsher prison than what she's in. It's absolutely disgusting.
Got it. Thank you, Congresswoman. Congresswoman, are you among the members who got to see the
She said she should be in a harder prison, and she is there because she got moved to a prison where she was able to have, more privileges. She was able to have a dog. She was able to get, stuff cooked the way she wanted to be cooked.
What, like when Martha Stewart was in jail and shit?
Right.
She got the soft treatment like she Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
Some wild shit, man.
I'm gonna pull up some of these other.
So she's not. It's like she's on vacation. So it's like she's on vacation.
Right. Yeah. Basically.
And Epstein, he's out of jail completely. They claim he offed himself, but we already know they snuck him out the back.
Right.
Then they working on getting her out.
This is Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna holds press briefing based off of the viewing of the unredacted files. So these are all the Congress people that have seen the files, the unredacted ones. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, sorry to keep you guys out here that long.
Well, that was an interesting experience.
It was.
The user interface is a little clunky at first, but what I saw that bothered me were the names of at least 6 men that have been redacted that are likely incriminated by their inclusion in these files. So that's the first thing that I saw. It took some digging to find them. Then I'll let you talk about what you saw.
Well, and we discussed that. I mean, there are 6 men, some of them with their photographs that have been redacted, and there's no explanation why those people were redacted. And Thomas discovered it through his MIT logic with some of the searches. But, that's really concerning. I think there are 2 other points. One is some of the internet concern about some of the more sensational emails. I mean, I do think it's important to recognize that some of the senders on that are women, and so some of the redactions may be appropriate, some may not be appropriate. We need to look at that. But just because there's an email out there, it doesn't mean that there's necessarily an improper redaction. The bigger concern is these 6 individuals. I will say that the staff was very professional in allowing us to do the searches. Our bigger concern is that there's still a lot that's redacted. Even in what we're seeing redacted versions. I thought we were supposed to see the unredacted versions, and that's because the documents produced to justice from the FBI, from the grand jury, was redacted when they got it. So we kept doing the searches for the unredacted information. It's the identical redactions that they have. Now, I don't think that's nefarious on the career attorneys that were reviewing it, but they obviously haven't gotten the production because our law says that the FBI and the original grand jury needs to be unredacted.
Right. The U.S. attorneys and the FBI are compelled, as well as the DOJ, and the DOJ was responsible for this document production, and they just produced documents that have been given to them from the FBI, the 302 forms, for instance, which need to be unredacted. There was one other thing that definitely needs to be addressed. Some of these files have been taken down, like the DOJ produced them, and for some reason they took them down. Maybe they decided that victims' names were in there and that they needed further redactions. But those documents not only haven't been put back up on the site with the appropriate redactions, they were not available to us to search. As far as I could tell, we couldn't search the documents that had been taken off the internet.
Can you share with us the name of the 6 men that you identified?
Yeah, what's the names?
That's what we
probably should do that from the floor or in a committee hearing.
And look, they should be releasing these documents. We have many avenues where we can compel that legally. Maybe they've done it out of oversight. I don't know. I don't believe that. But, they should be releasing those documents. And our hope is to get them to do that. And then in some of the redactions, they need to be very careful in whether that was a survivor or not. Just because, for example, someone is female doesn't necessarily mean they're survivors. And it seemed like they blanket redacted anyone who was a female from my review.
Yeah, I would like to give the DOJ a chance to say they made a mistake and over-redacted and let them unredact those men's names. That that would probably be the best way to do it.
So how much of the redactions you said that there are a lot of the documents, some of what you saw in there had redactions. How much new information then did you see that was unredacted, or did it look pretty similar to what we've seen publicly?
I mean, what we're after is the men who Jeffrey Epstein trafficked women to. We want those names published. We're not out to embarrass people. And the problem is we went in there hoping to see that in 302 forms. What we found out is those 302 forms were redacted before they got to the DOJ. So, but our legislation directs the FBI, which is the agency that produced those 302 forms, to also produce these documents. The Attorney General is ultimately responsible for that production. So that's why we're here at the DOJ to view these files. But there needs to be more information given in those 302s. So I was disappointed we didn't find that. But it's also clear, just sort of as a checking their homework, that they need to do a little more homework. There are 6 men. We went in there for 2 hours. There's millions of files, right? And in a couple of hours, we found 6 men whose names have been redacted, who are implicated in the way that the files are presented.
Yeah, what's your message to Pam Bondi after what you saw today?
Need to do a little more work. And we'll see her at the Judiciary Committee here in a couple of days.
At the very least, these 6 men, maybe she can make public. I mean, we're happy to provide the information to them, and they should do that. Look, there's some of the effort, because there were a lot of career attorneys on that. There's some redactions that were appropriate, some for protect the survivors. And some of the most sensational things out on the internet, there may have been appropriate redaction. So, for Thomas and me, it's always been about the facts. And our biggest concern is what was redacted before it even came to the Justice Department. I mean, the reality is that the most important things, the 302 files and some of the information on the prosecution memos, it's unclear that those redactions happened here. We saw a lot of files that already were redacted. And then, of course, they have been protecting some of these men. Maybe it was not intentionally, but the law is very clear. They need to comply with the law.
And finally, the documents that they put up and decided for one reason or another they had to take back down, I was hoping to see those here. They didn't appear to be in the database that we were able to search. For those ostensibly are wholly redacted files now. We know they exist. They published them for a brief period of time and pulled them back. They need to answer to us as to do they intend to redact those files and put them back up,
right,
put them in the database so that we can search them and see if it was appropriate to take them back down from the website.
They released the 6 names. They released the 6 names in the House. So let me pull this video up. They released the 6 names that they was talking about. So they revealed that today during the House meeting. So this is this bro Khan dude, whatever the hell his name is. But so he basically revealed the names in this. So let's go ahead and get into this.
Department of Justice to read the unredacted.
Let me know if y'all can hear that. Let me know we good on the sound.
Yep.
All right.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday, Congressman Massey and I went to the Department of Justice to read the unredacted Epstein files. We spent about 2 hours there, and we learned that 70 to 80% of the files are still redacted. In fact, there were 6 wealthy, powerful men that the DOJ hid for no apparent reason. When Congressman Massey and I pointed this out to the Department of Justice, they acknowledged their mistake, and now they have revealed the identity of these 6 powerful men. These men are Salvatore Navora, Zorab Mikoladze, Leopig Leonor, Nicola Caputa, Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, CEO of Dubai Ports World, and billionaire businessman Leslie Wexner, who was labeled as a co-conspirator by the FBI. Now, my question is, why did it take Thomas Massey and me going to the Justice Department to get these 6 men's identities to become public? And if we found 6 men that they were hiding in 2 hours, Imagine how many men they are covering up for in those 3 million files. But the story gets worse. The reality is that Donald Trump's FBI scrubbed these files in March, long before Thomas Massey and I passed the Epstein Transparency Act.
Thank you, Mr.
Now, my bill is clear. The Epstein Transparency Act requires them to unredact those FBI files. And yet the Justice Department said to me and to Congressman Massey, we just uploaded whatever the FBI sent us. And guess what? The FBI sent scrubbed files. That means the survivor's statement to the FBI, naming rich and powerful men who went to Epstein's island, who went to his ranch, who went to his home and raped and abused underage girls or saw underage girls being paraded, they're all hidden. They're all redacted. It's a little bit of a farce. They're inviting all the members of Congress to go to see the Department of Justice, quote unquote, unredacted files, but they've got all redacted files from the FBI. And it's not the fault of the Justice Department attorneys. They were just told upload things that Donald Trump's FBI had already scrubbed. It's a blatant violation of the Epstein Transparency Act, but it also asks a fundamental question. Who are they protecting? Why are they protecting these rich and powerful men, people I call part of the Epstein class? Why are we in a country where there is no elite accountability for people who do the most heinous things? You have in England, the king now calling for an investigation and possible prosecution of his own brother. You have in Norway, the princess who no longer has support to be the queen. And yet in the United States of America, we have someone in the cabinet, Howard Lutnick, who is all over these Epstein files, who allegedly had business with Epstein after he was convicted of pedophilia, and he still is in the cabinet. We need to ask ourselves, are we in America going to have elite accountability? Are we going to call on rich and powerful people who broke the law or cavorted with a pedophile, a convicted pedophile? Are we going to call them to account? Are we going to have prosecutions for billionaires who went to this island and either raped underage girls or saw underage girls being raped and didn't say anything? Are we going to have investigations? I'll tell you what this is about. It's not just about the 1,200 survivors. It's about 2 tiers of justice in America. It's about people who can accumulate wealth and power and don't have to care about the rest of America. They have destroyed so much of this country. Income inequality is at a 60-year high. Worker salaries are less than they have been for 75 years as a part of GDP. Somehow this country seems to be working for the rich and powerful, but it's not working for ordinary working class Americans. I say enough. It's time to begin with accountability for the Epstein class. Hold them in front of Congress, those people who visited the island or did business with Epstein after he was a convicted pedophile. Investigate them, prosecute them, and let's return to democratic accountability in the United States of America. Let's return to one system of justice in the United States of America. Let's return to a place where every American has a stake in this country.
Welcome to the News Hour.
Basically, they too powerful to be locked up.
That's basically what they're saying.
Yeah, and that's completely that's a big no right there, because then you got a whole class of people that's basically operating above the law. Because if that was anybody else, they would have been investigated and thrown into a jail cell.
Right.
We already know that. So these individuals that was named, they need to be looked into. They need to be handled.
Yep.
And you got plenty of women that came out about Prince Andrew, so I don't know what the hell's going on with that. To the point his own brother was looking at him, basically banishing him. So that goes to show you right there. And that's actually like one of the most powerful names you heard so far.
Yeah.
Coming out of those Epstein files. And women coming out publicly and saying that Prince Andrew was definitely one of the who was close to Epstein who participated.
Yeah, they was heckling King Charles.
Yeah, pull that up.
Right here. There you go. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
How long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? Have you been protecting Andrew from prosecution?
Look at all them brainwashed slaves out there booing.
Charles, how long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? Have you been
They booing him?
Yeah, they booing.
for prosecution? Charles, how long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? Have you been
They really booing.
I just thought about it. The general public really love their slavery, don't they?
Yeah, they.
I mean, 'cause that guy is asking a very valid question.
Yeah, it's like, I dare you to ask King Charles that. Well, that's Charles' brother. That's his goddamn brother. They effing brothers. Why can't he ask his brother that how long you knew about Epstein and Andrew? You know what I'm saying? Like,
He probably knew about it when it first started happening.
He knew about it, but the mother was protecting him. The queen was protecting
everything that they do. They get followed around. They know what each other is doing.
Yeah.
Every member of the royal know what the other members are doing, what they into. So yeah, he knew what he was into. He was being protected. His mother was protecting him at first, so we already know that. Yeah, this world is insane, man. I being born in a world where people love being enslaved to wickedness is crazy to me. Like, this is like an alien planet to me. This is really an alien planet. Earth is an alien planet to me. You know, it's like 1% ruling everybody else is insane to me. I mean, it's literally like 1,000 people ruling 1 billion. Billions. Like 1,000 people ruling over 8 billion people. That's how crazy this is. So that's like less than 1%. And they making all the rules, all the policies, all the rules that they make, they break themselves. So when they make the rules, they automatically above them. So some of these people is never going to jail. And they do whatever they want on this planet. And we give them the power to do that collectively. We giving them the power to do that because people actually sit back and say, oh, there's nothing we could do about it. 8 billion people saying there's nothing we could do about it is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. And then you got a lot of brainwashed people too. It's more brainwashed people than anybody. Because to tell you the truth, we know about their crimes now. What's stopping them from being arrested? Just think about it. What's stopping them?
Yeah, starting with those 6 names.
Yeah. What's stopping them from being investigated and arrested? How did they get shit? You see how quick they got Diddy ass up out of here. See how quick they got R. Kelly ass up out of here when they came for them. So you gonna tell me none of these other individuals are
It's echoing.
You tell me none of these other individuals are going to get any type of justice?
Are we echoing?
Are we? It's some wild stuff out here. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The general public gonna have to do something about this. These people ain't gonna arrest themselves. The general public is gonna have to do something about this. I'm telling you right now. If we think that these people is going to investigate themselves and handcuffs on their own wrist and waltz themselves into a prison cell, you got another thing coming. That is delusional. That
we good? Sound good?
Yeah, you good. I didn't hear no echoing. You good.
All right.
I don't understand. I don't understand what we expect them to do. Like, a lot of us are still asking that question. Why are they not going to jail? We know why. These powerful people are being protected, and the people who's supposed to be throwing them in jail are guilty of the same crimes. So what do we expect as the general public? What we expect them to do? Why we keep asking these questions? What we think they're going to do? Like, what's the reality behind this? What are we going to do? What's the reality? What are we going to do? Right. Or is it just entertainment to everybody? Maybe that's what it is. Nobody ain't expecting nothing to happen. People just want to talk about it. Maybe that's what it is. Because no action is being done. To the point where Miss Maxwell is brave to try to get clemency, knowing she guilty as hell. Which means she ain't got no remorse for what she did.
Nope.
If she's trying to get out. Basically, she don't feel sorry about none of that.
Nah, she feel like that. She should be sitting innocent in there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she is. She's. That's basically what it is. She thinks she's innocent.
Cause you know why? You know why she thinks she's innocent? Because the people that she victimized, she look at them like they were just animals. She didn't look at them as equals,
and
like
equal, right? And she's looking
or anything like that. She looked at them as so below her that
not just that.
Why should she go to jail for victimizing them when they're nothing?
Not just that. She's sitting in there and she's probably feeling like, all right, why am I the only one sitting in jail when I know it's a bunch of other people that should be sitting in jail with me? You know what I mean? So why ain't none of them in jail, but she's sitting in jail?
She ain't thinking like that because then if she was thinking like that, she'd be making sure those other people, because she's the only one right now that can put them in jail because she knows their identity.
But she don't want to do it unless she's getting out, so she need to just stay in there.
Nah, that's bullshit right there.
Keep your ass in there, Maxwell.
I don't think
Ghislaine
that some other people should be in jail. She just believes she shouldn't be in jail.
Yeah, but but she's still in jail while other people free, still doing the same things.
And she believes she should be out there.
She should be out there, doing the same thing, right?
That's what she believes. She don't believe that they should be in jail with her. She believes she should be out there continuing what she was doing. Because victimizing don't mean nothing. They're just basically just, disposable human beings, basically. Or they don't even look at them as humans. They look at them as animals.
Wow. Let me see if I can get into it.
Ghislaine Maxwell is a monster. She facilitated, aided, and abetted, engaged in those crimes. She was the enforcer who threatened the victims and the survivors of those crimes. And today we looked into the eyes of that monster in the deposition. What we did not get were any substantive answers to the questions that were asked that would advance our investigation, to help us learn who were the other men involved in these crimes, to help us learn who were the others who knew about these crimes, to help us learn what exactly was said between Todd Blanche and Ghislaine Maxwell that led her to be transferred to a minimum security prison. What we did get was another episode in her long-running campaign for clemency from President Trump. And President Trump could end that today. He could rule out clemency for Ghislaine Maxwell, the monster. he could rule out a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell, the monster. The question for all of us today is, why hasn't he done that, and why won't he do that?
Is there a conspiracy of silence?
I'm going to turn it over to my colleague from the Commonwealth of Virginia, Suhas Subramanian.
Thank you. Just to reiterate, Ghislaine Maxwell should have no hope of ever getting out of prison. But today, she, through her lawyer, explicitly stated that she wants to be out of prison through a clemency that this president would grant. And she is campaigning over and over again to get that pardon from President Trump. And this president has not ruled it out. And so that is why she's continuing to not cooperate with our investigation. The reality is she is a monster. She should be behind bars. She should stay there. She should answer our questions, but she is not willing to do so because she is looking for that pardon and looking to absolve any people related to this administration. So we will continue to call for this president to completely roll out a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm going to hand it over now to the representative from Texas, Ms. Crockett.
Thank you so much. Listen, as an attorney, I was wondering exactly where all we were going with her planning to invoke the Fifth Amendment. You know, Fifth Amendment is about self-incrimination. We all know that she has been finally convicted. She has exhausted all of her appeals. But they've decided to file a writ of habeas corpus. In my opinion, they have filed this writ of habeas corpus just to use it as an excuse to not answer more questions, because again, we know that she's a monster. We know that a jury was able to listen to all of the evidence and find that she should be found guilty. And even Donald Trump's Supreme Court, which that is saying a lot, even his Supreme Court has decided to affirm every single thing that took place on the trial level. So the fact that this woman is continuing to invoke the Fifth Amendment tells us exactly what my colleagues have already stated. She is a monster. She does not care. She has no remorse. She is not seeking to bring about some kind of closure for these women. She doesn't care. And frankly, it seems like this administration overall does not care. All they care about is protecting the powerful and protecting pedophiles. They will do anything to distract from that, including deciding to put up in the middle of Black History Month, the most racist thing that we've ever seen come out of a White House. But I am here to tell you that House Democrats, specifically on the Oversight Committee and the Judiciary Committee, as we do have Pam Bondi coming before us here in a minute, we will not be deterred. We will not be distracted. We know who it is that needs to be held accountable, and we will go in and we will make sure that we continue to dig. This will not stop us because his co-conspirator decided that she was going to try to play games with us this morning. I got news for you, Ms. Maxwell. We're not done. We're going to continue to go. And it is my hope that this court resolves this sham of a I don't even know what to call it, this scam of a maneuver that she has filed in court. That is what we will call it. We hope that that is resolved quickly and we can bring her on back, since we're not physically moving her. She's still in her cushy jail cell down in Texas. We will bring her back so that she can answer questions and hopefully finally start to answer questions truthfully. And now I'm going to pass it over to my good friend out of New Mexico, Ms. Stansberry.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. It is Monday, February 9th. We are just walking out of the deposition with Ghislaine Maxwell after the House Oversight Committee has subpoenaed Ms. Maxwell to speak to the committee in our ongoing bipartisan investigation into the crimes of Jeffrey Epstein and to hold those accountable who have not yet been investigated and convicted of those crimes. As was evidenced this morning, Ghislaine Maxwell did not provide information to the committee and instead invoked her blanket Fifth Amendment rights. While we are not able to speak to the specifics of what was said within the deposition until the deposition record is made public, it is very clear that she used this opportunity to not only campaign for clemency, as she has been doing, but also to send a direct message that she is hoping that people who were sitting in the deposition will transmit to the President of the United States, which is that her silence can be bought through clemency. It is very clear that that is the message that she is trying to send directly to Donald Trump himself. Directly. She is telling Donald Trump through her deposition that she is trying to buy her clemency. Now, She did state that she is taking and invoking her Fifth Amendment rights because of a pending habeas petition before the Southern District of New York. But let us be clear, her case appeals have already gone to the United States Supreme Court and they have been denied. She is not being released from jail unless, of course, Donald Trump buys what she's selling. So we want to be clear that she is exactly where she's supposed to be in terms of her conviction, and she needs to go back to the prison where she belongs. Now, we have a lot of questions for Ms. Maxwell with regards to what actually happened in Epstein's affairs, who was directly involved in the sex trafficking, money laundering, and influence peddling scheme that she and Jeffrey Epstein were involved in, how Donald Trump was involved and whether or not he committed any crimes himself, as did his many associates who are named in the Department of Justice files. Let us be clear that Donald Trump is not only named thousands of times in the latest release from the Department of Justice, he is named over 38,000 times in the files that were released 2 weeks ago alone. And we know that that only represents half of the files that the Department of Justice has in its possession, including files that were used for direct investigations of perpetrators, people who committed crimes, people who were co-conspirators in those crimes, and individuals who knew of those crimes. We know that there are multiple administration officials, including Howard Lutnick, Elon Musk, who served as the appointee for the Doge efforts in the White House. We know that the Secretary of Navy, we know that Steve Bannon, we know that there are more than 36 associates, family members, and individuals directly associated with Donald Trump named in those files. Now, there are now at least 9 or 10 other countries across the world that have opened investigations or forced their leaders to step down because of their mere association with Jeffrey Epstein. And the United States government is engaged in an active cover-up of the largest sex trafficking scandal and influence peddling scandal in the history of the United States. And Donald Trump is right at the center of it. And the person who is living to provide the evidence, who knows what is going on, is trying to invoke the Fifth to buy her clemency. So let's be clear on what we saw here today. This was an effort to essentially try to secure her pardon by keeping her mouth shut. And we will not allow this silence to stand. It was announced late last week that the Department of Justice would allow members of Congress to view the unredacted files of the files that have been released. And many of us will head to the Department of Justice today to look at the memos and internal documents of the Department of Justice that were removed from the website to understand why names of survivors were unmasked and why and who the Department of Justice is shielding as they have redacted files that include perpetrators and co-conspirators. And with that, we will stand for questions.
Can you talk about if there was a conversation around Howard Lutnick, for example? I know Comer said he didn't want to disrupt the other 5 depositions that they have scheduled, but I don't know how even just trying to speak to Comer would disrupt the other 5. So I wonder if you could help us understand.
With regards to this deposition
With regards to any future deposition with Howard Lutnick or some of the others that you described.
The committee is keeping an ongoing list of individuals we would like to subpoena. It's really important for folks to understand that in order for us to subpoena anybody, the majority has to consent. And so while we appreciate that there is bipartisan cooperation in this case, we have a whole list of individuals we would like to subpoena before the committee that they have not consented to. Of course, we would like to speak to Secretary Lutnick, and I personally believe that Mr. Lutnick needs to step down immediately.
Ma'am, what is your message to survivors amid this sort of wall of silence that we've seen today from Ghislaine Maxwell?
Our message to survivors is that we are here to bear witness, to fight for justice, and to fight for convictions.
Yeah, I mean, we're standing with them. We have been in communication with those survivors that are really, there are a certain number of survivors that are really more involved than others, and they are standing for their fellow other survivors. They're out front. We are standing with them, and we are telling them that we're not going to back down, which is why we're very clear about the fact that, yes, this took place today, and basically Ghislaine was like, I'm not going to participate, but we're not going to stop. You know, there were those that thought we would stop when we were able to get the discharge petition done. There were those that thought we were going to stop when it didn't seem like we had the votes once we finally got that done. I mean, the House Speaker shut the House down so that we would not go there, right? And now that they have violated the law, because this is actually in law, we are not stopping. So I want people to understand that House Democrats, we are going to be on their asses. Like, that's just the reality.
And what is your message to President Trump in that case?
Same thing. We're going to be on his ass. I mean, you know, it is so, I don't really know where we are in this country. Why are we even having this conversation? The United States is falling apart right now, partially because he's going out and randomly allowing for the killings of people in the middle of the street. But the other part of it is that we have a 34-count convicted felon, and there are people that are still shielding him from any type of accountability as it relates to a child sex trafficking ring. It is time to take the blinders off. Like, I don't understand why we are pretending like any of this is normal. And I think that that is the level of frustration that so many people are bringing, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent, specifically to the Epstein file situation. Because right now we know that they were willing to try to throw the Clintons in prison for not showing up, yet they won't even allow us to bring other people into committee who we know are mentioned in these files and mentioned so much more. When we went through the hearing as relates to the Clintons, I said, listen, we know that Donald Trump's name is mentioned more. Bring him in too. Like, I'm not saying that this should be partisan. This should be whoever. I want to be clear about that. This, for the Democrats, this isn't partisanship. This is about right versus wrong.
I just want to say, with respect to the survivors, I spoke with a survivor this morning. Many of them are on Capitol Hill today at the Judiciary Committee hearing. And what I said to her is, what we need is for members of Congress, Democrats and Republicans, to show just a tiny bit of the courage that the survivors have shown. If we can find it, if our Republican colleagues can find just a little bit of courage, when the survivors have demonstrated incredible courage throughout this ordeal, we can make progress and get the transparency they're asking for.
Can I just ask, the Epstein files could possibly bring down a British Prime Minister. Why do you think that is happening there, but it's hardly politically hurting an American president?
Well, I think it's important to note that right now, the Congress is controlled by Donald Trump's allies. And our Speaker of this House preferred to keep the House of Representatives shut for more than 40 days so that we could not advance the Epstein Files Transparency Act. He is being actively shielded by members of his own party, whereas in other countries, including the UK, members of parliament are demanding accountability. And that is why our plea is to the American people. We need to hold these people accountable. And my message to Donald Trump is, we're coming for you. We are not moving on.
I'd like to ask you just a couple of things. First of all, about the demeanor of Ghislaine Maxwell. What did she say? How did she look? Can I also ask, we've heard from your committee before that you want to hear from the former Prince Andrew and from Peter Mandelson. Do you think there are questions for the broader British royal family, King Charles?
Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell was once again unrepentant. She was very robotic. And, you know, she was not at all remorseful about pleading the fifth today. I think, again, this is all strategy for her to try to get a pardon from President Trump. And she has never shown any remorse for the victims in this entire case.
And the royal family. So as it relates to that part, I think that we want to speak to anyone who has information. Now, again, being an attorney, it's been quite frustrating that the Department of Justice has continued to hold files against the law and against the subpoenas, right? But what you would normally do is you would start with the evidence. So it's a matter of us taking a look at the evidence and trying to see who it is that is involved in this very tangled web. I think that we should speak to anybody, even if that means that we go that high. Now, do I have any evidence to suggest that there's anything there at this moment? Not necessarily, but I do want to see everything. And I will be clear about this. When we had our large roundtable where we talked to so many survivors, they did say that this has impacted high levels of government across the world, not just in England. They talked about multiple other countries. And so for us, we want to follow this because for all I know, we know that Epstein is gone, but does it mean that the ring is gone? Because of the sophistication in the way that this was set up, we need to make sure that we're not only fortifying our democracy here, but we need to make sure that there's not some cabal that is operating currently and still engaging in this type of behavior. And I think that is why it's so important that these survivors have come forward in this moment, because we don't know that it's not continuing to go on right now. We just know that Epstein is gone. We know that Maxwell is gone, but it wasn't just the two of them.
I like Crockett been listening to the Night and Day channel, because that's all we stress on this channel, that this is bigger than Democrat. This is bigger than Democrat, Republican. This is a global organized crime syndicate which our tax dollars is funding, which other countries' citizens is funding as well. This is a global web that's taking place. Epstein supposedly dead. Ghislaine behind bars. But guess what? The operation still is open. It still continues. It's more islands out here.
Republicans.
There's more islands out here. There's more Epsteins out here. So Crockett, Crockett's saying all the right things, but
they ain't got nothing.
People really going
damn Epstein list,
right? Is people really going to take action and start investigating and you know, and continue to bust this thing wide open? No Diddy, pause, wide open, because they're still operating. I'm sorry to tell you that, Miss Crockett, but yes, they still out here operating. Yes.
Democrats and Republicans with the Epstein files. I don't even know those names. There's no such thing as no Democrats or Republicans when it comes to the Epstein client list and file. They all involved. They all involved. I ain't trying to hear about no political crap when it comes to this Epstein stuff. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that.
Right.
And yes, there is a cabal. There's always been one.
Facts.
That's who's really. That is why it is.
And they operate under the Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberg Group. You know what I mean? And out of the Vatican and out of the central banks around the world. That's who they are. And that's who Epstein was working for.
Facts.
Review those files, and anyone that we feel like is involved based on the files, based on the evidence, we feel like they need to come forward and speak to us.
So we're going to take 2 more questions.
So Congressman Biggs came out and said that Maxwell's lawyer said that she had no indication that either President Trump or President Clinton were implicated in any wrongdoing. Wondering if you'd confirm that you heard that, but also how you evaluate that statement given some of the comments you're making about her clemency plea.
We'll take your question and then we'll answer and wrap up.
I just wanted to ask what you all make of Congressman Comer's back and forth with the Clintons on closed door tape deposition versus public testimony, and if you're worried that this might derail what's going on right now and lead Republicans back to pursuing consent.
Yeah, on the Clintons and Trump, she did say that she is happy to talk on the record to confirm that there was no wrongdoing on their part. I think that is part of her campaign, again, to get a pardon and get support from both parties. That's why she's mentioning Clinton too as well. But they were very explicit on saying she'd love to talk on the record to absolve the Clintons and Trump.
I'd say about the back and forth part of things, Secretary Clinton made it clear. If you want to do this, let's do this out front and in the open, right? And it seems like they don't want that to happen, because what they want to do is they want to go behind closed doors and then come out with whatever spin that they want to put on it and have it be a he said, she said. I also do believe that this is yet another way of them trying to distract and hopefully trying to get Democrats to say, well, never mind, we don't want to talk about it if you're going to go after the Clintons. Again, for us, this is not about partisanship. This is right versus wrong. And frankly, we've not seen anything that would have made me believe that Secretary Clinton, of all people, should be coming in front of them in the first place. So this is about getting to the truth for us. And we understand that if there are names mentioned, that we should follow that evidence. But we do know that Comer is playing games, because if he really...
Clinton need to be up there. Nah. Her husband's name is all through the mess.
Tired of hearing though? You know what else I'm getting tired of hearing? And this is a Jewish conspiracy. These people ain't Jewish. Real Jews don't eat human flesh and worship Satan. These ain't Jews. Stop saying it's a Jewish conspiracy. They might be hiding under the label as Jews, but they're not. They're not. And I'm sorry, that Israel that's over there right now, that's not the Israel from the Bible.
Nah.
That Israel over there that you're looking at over there is called occupied Palestine. Palestine basically under siege. That's not Israel. So these people are not Jews. So stop saying this is a Jewish conspiracy. These people are not Jews.
These are people just made up of different organizations from around the world.
Facts.
Which they form other organizations based off, other organizations. So yeah, this is just, this is a
neither are they Democrats
global...
or Republicans. They're not. It's not a Democrat or Republican thing neither. It ain't a Jewish conspiracy. It's not a Democrat or Republican conspiracy. That's BS. These people that's on this client list is made up of all different types of cultures, all different types of backgrounds, all different types of careers they coming from. It's just not a Jewish conspiracy or Democratic conspiracy or you know what I'm saying? It's not or Republican conspiracy. It's not none of that shit. So let's stop getting distracted by that stuff. That whole Jews and versus and the Christians and the Muslims, all that bullshit that y'all getting distracted from. And it's people from all those backgrounds that's up there corrupt. Don't you realize that it's a corrupt person under all those labels? There's corrupt people that come from every last one of those labels. So it's just not a Jewish conspiracy or a Republican or... Stop saying that shit. Don't even come in here typing that. Don't even type that in here, chat. Don't type this is a Jewish conspiracy. Don't type this is a Republican conspiracy. Don't type that as a Democratic conspiracy. It's none of that shit. It's a wicked conspiracy. It's just wicked. And wickedness got all types of labels attached to it. These people hide under all types of names. Some will say they Christian, some will say they Jewish, some will say they Muslim, some will say they Democrat, some will say they Republican, but they all got wicked agendas. They're none of those things.
Some will say they, atheists, some will say they Scientologists, some will say they it's just all different types of groups. But when it comes to stuff like this, with this Epstein stuff and these type of organizations that love trafficking children, drugs, and women, and some men, that this is supersedes past all the labeling. There's no labels when it comes to this type of darkness and this type of wickedness. There's no labels. This is made up of
all races got caught doing that shit.
Yeah, this is made up of
all nationalities and all races got caught doing that.
Yeah, so I don't. So these people need to be prosecuted. The Clintons need to speak up. They do. I don't care what the hell they talking about. I know they Democratic people trying to protect their Democrats or whatever, but this is not one of that. This is not that. I'm sorry. The Clintons need to speak up. Trump need to take his ass over there and speak up. They all need to be lined up and spoke up and speaking out. Cause they all in the files. Yeah, they all in the files. They all need to be set down, lined up, and they all need to be testifying. Simple and plain. From Trump to Clinton's to shit. If the Obama's name was next to that shit, they need to be coming. Even if their name ain't in there, they need to come forward like
the royal family.
Yeah, the royal family.
Prince Andrew.
Yeah. Some people out the parliament over there in the UK.
Yeah.
Prime ministers.
Even Yo, it's wow. It's some big
people
names
from
on that client list.
Some Sultans on there, some Sultan names in there in the Epstein files. That's what we saying. It's people from all different countries, leaders in all different types of countries, man. That's in them files. That was going to that island with all them children on there.
Right.
It was going to them islands, man. And they still going to them islands.
Types of backgrounds.
They still going to those islands.
Yeah, I feel like people shouldn't stop grouping that, like saying it's like a Jewish conspiracy. That's the one I hear the most. Like it's it's just Jews, like all Jews are Zionists and all. Like, nah, man, we gotta stop with that thinking. We gotta stop with that singling out one group and saying that's the group. It's multiple groups and multiple people within those groups tied into this Epstein shit. Epstein just wasn't catering to Jews. So that have you looking into one group while the other people basically, disappear or go underground.
Right. Yeah.
I'm telling you. That's how they're able to hide. They're hiding under these names. Those names don't mean shit. None of those labels, they don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. None of those labels, we don't want to hear those labels anymore. We just need to go after the wicked individuals who's behind it. Yeah, I see some people throwing stuff out, talking about the bloodlines, Mossad. Yeah, all of them involved. Yeah, but if you mention Mossad, you gotta mention the CIA too. And if you mention CIA, you gotta mention MI6.
MI6.
You know what I'm saying? So it's, and if you mention them, you gotta mention Canadian intelligence. So it's like they're all interlocked. It's groups within side groups. Like you could just we could name every organization, every branch of the government in every country, and it's somebody that's corrupt that dealt with Epstein or someone like Epstein and still dealing with them today.
Yeah, people gotta wake up, man.
Yeah, because the royal family, they people from the royal family involved. They not considered Jewish, are they?
No. Nope. Nope, they not. Yo, make sure y'all double tap the screen, like this video, subscribe to this channel.
This is corrupt.
Right. Y'all focused on AI video slop. AI video slop. Everybody knows it's AI. We speaking over the video. If y'all, just in case y'all didn't know, that's just the video playing in the background. So don't worry about that. Just pay attention to the message. That's what's more important.
It's just a video to set the mode of what like the type stuff they do.
It's a theme. It's called theme.
It's set.
Yeah,
right.
It's called satire. It's called theme. It's a theme, man. Because this, I mean, it's just something that represents what they into anyway. The hell, that's what the hell this whole Epstein thing is about. What are we talking about here? Everybody talks about Pizzagate, Epstein,
to me.
Pizzagate, Baphomet, Bow, sacrifice. All this shit is right here in the video. What you seeing? This is the stuff they be involved in that y'all all say they involved in, right? So this is just, it's AI, but it represents what the topic what we talking about. Bow, Baphomet, devil worship, children, Pizzagate, like, you know what I'm saying? Hollywood, politics, religion, sacrifice. Like, this is all the shit that y'all, you know what I mean? Hey, man, it is what it is, man.
That y'all niggas like to talk about.
Right. Yeah, you say it's all in the files, right? Yeah, torture, sacrifice, yeah, all that stuff is what they into. They sacrificed on the altar. Y'all seen Bohemian Grove footage from the Bohemian Grove, the big the owl statue and all that. Yeah, that's the stuff they into, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the stuff they into. So
Look, why'd you leave Donnie out? We always talk about Donnie being up in those files. You need to just listen to the live stream more and don't pay attention to the background as much. We said this is not a Democrat or Republican thing. We saying all of them corrupt.
I just
Everybody
said they
who
all
stepped
need to
in
be
that
lined
office,
up.
right?
Yeah, they all need to be lined up. Every last one of them. Yeah, that's the
We
point we
not
was
we not
making.
on Donnie's side. We not on Biden's side. We not on Obama's side. We not on Bushy's side. We ain't on none of them motherfucking sides. Cause they ain't on our side. None of them are on our side or your side. Guaranteed. None of them.
People don't understand, man. I guess shit gotta hit the fan. Things gotta hit the fan for people to wake the hell up. And sometimes it might be too late. You might get caught in the house or in a fire. You might not wake up in time.
We just trying to shed light on the obvious and the truth, the common sense behind it all. The common sense is it can't just be a Democratic hoax or a Republican hoax or a Jewish conspiracy. Too many other people involved who's not any of those things, who's high up that's involved with these damn files and involved with these wicked things that they've been doing over the years. Openly. Mind you, they've been doing a lot of this shit openly. They've been doing a lot of this shit openly because they being protected. So they don't care if anybody knows. And when they do get caught or by people who's actually looking, look, she's in a nice prison. They might have snuck Epstein out the damn back. He might be free walking around, and she's in a nice prison that look like a resort. She got a pet dog in there. She getting custom made meals and shit. She up in there living like Martha Stewart, going through cookbooks and picking out which recipes she want to eat tonight.
Yeah, that's what she said. She has, they basically cook her whatever she want. Yep. Yep, they can cook her wherever she wants. She got a pet dog in there, like a support dog and shit. You know what I mean? Yes, that's pretty much what's going on. Yeah.
They should have threw her ass in a prison like the platform. And she could still have her dog in there. Dog might become lunch, but yeah, we told y'all watch that movie The Platform on Netflix. That's the type shit have us living in.
Yeah, Ghislaine got a nerve to be like, I need clemency for me to start talking. Like, bitch, no, you don't. You can talk. You can open your mouth. You can open your mouth, Ghislaine, and testify against the people that you conspire with. It's talking about I need clemency. I need to be free. If y'all want me to talk, I need to be free. Well, bitch, stay in there. Well, your testimony ain't your testimony. You stay in there.
You know what's crazy though? If she did talk and get people locked up for real, and they let her out, she might not even live.
Exactly right.
She might be telling the wrong people, and they take her out so fast. So it makes you wonder if all this shit ain't scripted in the first place.
That's what I've been thinking.
That's another possibility. Another possibility. She might not even be in prison at all, and Epstein probably never stepped foot in jail. They could have easily told us that and showed us that easily, and it not be the truth. What's stopping them from doing that? We gotta think to ourselves, what has stopped them from doing that?
Exactly. Ghislaine trying to get out while other people, y'all all need to go to jail. Ghislaine need to stand there and the rest of the people on that list that you know that was an accessory to you know all of the shit Epstein and that whole organization was doing, they all need to be in jail. Simple and plain.
She living it up in there. If she even in, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, how
A
do
lot,
we
lot of
know
treason, a lot of
that these
treason
people
going on
ain't
too.
even? How do we know that these people is even in jail or not? How do we know that Epstein was ever really in
Yeah, see,
jail? Like, we just taking their word for it. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, we've been so naive about everything else, but now since all the lies are coming out that the government been telling us, the mainstream media been telling us, all so why wouldn't they make up a story and say that? Now I mean, Ghislaine and Epstein was really locked up, wasn't?
yeah, they can
And the
easily
fact
just
that
say
they
that.
said that
Yeah,
Epstein took himself out, they could easily lie about that.
yeah,
They could easily lie about that. How would we even know? How would the general public even know? Think about it.
yeah.
That's
We
something they
wouldn't
could
know.
easily cover up.
Yeah, we wouldn't know. I mean,
And
they
they ain't
use
just tell us
they
whatever
use
they want to tell us on the news.
yeah, because they use the news as a weapon, propaganda
Right.
machine to basically tell us anything. So yeah, they could very well much still be operating, tell you the truth. But
Facts.
yeah, yeah. I mean, this could be all
What's
just
stopping them from doing that?
this could be all just a
Let's
whole
ask that
big
question.
conspiracy to keep people distracted as well. Because they doing a lot of setting up other shit while we paying attention to Epstein and the files. They doing other things like setting up a whole new financial system, agriculture, a new you know developments, new architect developments, constructions and all that. Yeah, they building a whole new world while we paying attention to Epstein. You got ICE, agency going around buying up all these warehouses, these $100 million warehouses. Who they plan on putting in those warehouses, y'all? Who y'all think? Just keep it on. Who y'all think they plan on putting in those warehouses? Let's somebody just answer that question in the chat. I would like to see y'all answers. Who y'all think they plan on putting in all those $100 million warehouses that they buying up around America? Who y'all think they plan on putting in those warehouse prisons basically,
Yeah, detention centers.
detention centers. Somebody said kids, content creators. uh, he said no one, and we'll just hold them as assets to sell to a corporate buyer. Somebody said you. Y'all tripping. Some of y'all just be saying anything. But yeah, that like you said, this shit ain't going like this Epstein shit is a big picture, is part of the big picture because you know the type of shit that went on with that. Like, yeah, some people need to be going to jail and I believe, yeah, we believe it's more than Epstein and Ghislaine. It definitely is because just think about all the people that's in those files, all the people he dealt with since the 80s. All the flight logs, all the people flying back and forth, to, flying all over the world with this guy. So this make no damn sense. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, mm, mm, mm.
And they got us focused on just Epstein for a reason. That means that there's someone even bigger out there operating.
Yeah, once a
They
person
gonna keep
name
us
hit
on
the media,
Epstein.
yeah, once a person name hit the media, that means that person's already been, thrown, thrown to the forefront as the fall person. The people usually, you don't see those people that usually still operating in the shadows. You don't see them. You don't hear about them. Like, who really knew who Epstein was until, shit started hitting the fan with this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he been operating for years. Who really knew who this guy Epstein was? I'm talking about the public. The public ain't really know about this Epstein character like that. Not until it was time for them to take him down. That's when everybody knew about him. So that's what I'm saying. They operate in the shadows. People right under our from right under our noses. Nah, Epstein is like from upstate New York, some shit like that. Like yeah. Somebody said, do you think they had anything to do with those missing Atlanta children from the 80s? I mean, that's a possibility, man. That's a possibility. Yeah, because where do all those missing children go? They have to be being kidnapped and used for something, either sex slave, uh, experiments, uh, slave labor, or they can just, you know, take these kids and groom them to be ICE agents. How we know some of these ICE agents ain't none of the people they've been taking over the years and experimented with them and released them to the public. You know what I'm saying? How we know these ain't people they kidnapped and trained and released them to the public? Like, we don't know that.
Not just ICE agents, celebrities too, and
Right,
politicians.
right.
Almost like some Manchurian candidate type shit. Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, people don't realize how deep this go. And to be honest with you, it's all a show for us. That's what it is. It's all a show for us. But they really together behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
It's all just a show. If y'all realize how fake it really was behind the scenes. They got us following these hamster wheel type of society that they set society up like a bunch of hamster wheels. You doing all this running and going and ain't getting nowhere because that's
Right.
how the system is designed. Why they the ones that build the hamster wheels that they don't have to run in themselves. Those are the type people that Epstein worked for. Those are the type people that's on Epstein client list. That's why they haven't went
Yeah.
to jail because they the
Right.
ones that build the prisons. You think they're gonna build the prisons and put themselves in there?
Hell nah. Hell nah.
That's what we have to. They not building those prisons. They not building those detention centers to put themselves in there. So us thinking that this client list eventually gonna get released and justice is gonna be served and all that. If we just sit back and talk about it, that shit ain't happening. Not in a million years. Because these people are not going to slap the cuff on their own wrist and walk themselves into those jail cells. Because what they did with Epstein, they're not going to do it.
Somebody said, "What we watching?"
We watching the stuff that they into, all the rumors that's going around, and stuff that they into, sacrifices, rituals. Yeah, I mean, sacrificing goats and humans and Pizzagate and Bow and the Baphomet and all this bullshit that they. Yeah, I mean, that's what that background represents. All the shit that they claim that they do.
All the conspiracies.
Yep. How they code words, how pizza means something and hot dog means something. All that shit that they came up with the program niggas with. Rather they programming people in their inner circle or programming the public to believe that's what their codes are.
It says this in the files. There's a lot of shit in that files. Like, but it ain't. Is anybody going to jail for them files? No. So it's like, what's the point? Well, I released them shit.
Well,
to
we
us,
already
like,
made this point.
Yeah, like we.
The only reason why they releasing the files because they ain't investigating nobody.
Right. Yeah, because if they investigate,
if they was using those files for active, if they were using those files for an active investigation, they would never release it to the public.
Exactly. Not until the case is over.
Right. That's the one point that everybody have to get. So no matter what you find in those files after they release them, they not gonna give a shit because they already done. They said it's already concluded. Epstein didn't have a sex trafficking ring. It was just him and Ghislaine.
Yeah, they ain't even say it was Ghislaine. They say he was well, I guess Ghislaine because she locked up.
Yeah.
For it, so
yeah.
Right.
They basically just saying it was them two abusing all them people and nobody else.
So why they got these victims running around? If it was only Ghislaine and Epstein, then why are the victims on national TV saying there's names that they have a list of people that they was victims of? They said fashion designers, corporations, politics, different people. So that's what I'm saying. So how you got people over here saying one thing, people over there saying another. You got a group of people over here saying one thing, like, and it's all discombobulated and confusing because, and I know that's done for on purpose. That's definitely done on purpose. So you're saying they said it wasn't no client list. So why is Ghislaine sitting in the jail? Why was Epstein prosecuted if there wasn't, clients? Like, who, you mean to tell me they traffic all these people and they victimize all these people, just them two? You mean nobody else was involved in this conspiracy? Nobody? Then why the victim saying there was more people? They on some bullshit. I just think all this shit is scripted and distracting. Right. I'm starting to believe all this shit is for the public. Is a shit show for the public. That's how I'm looking at it now. It's one big Truman Show type of shit put on for the public.
That's exactly what it is. I honestly believe that. And I honestly believe they write the scripts out in places like the Trilateral Commission and the Bilderberg Group meetings. Like where all the world leaders and all the powerful execs and people that control the media and people that control the pharmaceutical companies and the religious leaders and the people from all the monarchs around Europe and Africa, they all meet to script all this shit out for the rest of us. And the ones who ain't on board with it, they get taken out. They get taken out in a coup. Something called a coup. And that's when they set the intelligence agencies up in certain countries to take out certain world leaders that they feel is a threat to the script that they created during the Bilderberg meeting group or Trilateral Commission group meeting. Because they call them shits think tanks. That's what we just sit back and we just talk about things, powerful people, we just sit back and say, yeah, what y'all talk about is how y'all going to keep controlling the world. Keep letting people like Epstein operate to keep the people online who ain't on board with it, to keep the other powerful people online who ain't on board with it. So they need people like Epstein to basically collect dirt on these individuals, whether it's through their financial records or it's by blackmailing them, setting them up to do something that they know they have a weakness with, and basically set them up and get it on camera or audio or something. And people like Epstein is a bunch of them operating like that, so they could use that information to certain political people and powerful people that's not on board with what they're doing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, we definitely being played. The general public, yeah, we definitely, and we still run around believing these agents, man. They got all these double agents that they put in position. All these people that you think are leaders and all this type of shit, and really they all part of the what you would call the cabal, or the I hate saying this word. People say the Illuminati, elite, and all this.
Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body. Secret society trying to keep their eye.
They ran that word to the ground so much. That was all part of the programming, though.
Yeah. Yeah, throughout the whole 2000s, and all you heard was Illuminati.
And before that, they just called them communists. The communists, the commies.
The commies. Little commie bastard.
Yeah, for real. But all these are psyop names.
Yeah, I don't really think. Yeah, it's like, right. Yeah, you can't even really buy into the labels. They just call it what it is.
Yeah, because they always coming with that bullshit. The Illuminati, the commies, the cabal. Fuck all those names. Just call it what it is. The wicked.
The wicked in high places.
Right. You could group them all under one thing. The wicked.
He says a big club. And you ain't. Yeah, George Carlin says a big club. And you ain't in it. They got you by the balls.
Are in it. None of us in here are in it.
They got you by the balls. They own all the land. That's what he said. They own all the land. They bought and paid for by the. He just ran down the list. Yeah, that's the people. That's in charge of making decisions for us every damn day when it comes to this damn system. This shit crazy. I'll tell you what though, it's definitely crashing. This system is done. They ran this into the ground.
Right.
More people starting to wake up to it anyway, because they realizing what's the hell. They realize what the hell going on. I think it takes certain events to happen for people to actually, start waking up and shit.
Well, them events, those events been happening.
Yeah. Like 9/11 happened, the COVID shit happened, Epstein shit happened. You had a lot like different catastrophic events that happened where it definitely woke some people up. You know what I'm saying? People had time to actually, investigate, do their own investigation, do their own discernment and connect their own dots based off the information that was coming out and shit. So I think it's like more so a gradual awakening that's happening. A gradual awakening that's happening. It's not like one big awakening all at one time. That'd be great if that was to happen, where it was like a whole, like just one big bang of awakening and shit, and everybody just, the veil's been lifted off of everyone's eyes, and everybody can see every damn thing. I wish it was like that, but we know that shit don't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. Some people awakening, wake up before others. Some people never wake the hell up. They're just stuck in that shit for eternity. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
this
we
this
definitely ain't
AI
getting the whole
Oprah
truth
is
tonight.
based off a real picture anyway. So just in case y'all was wondering, Oprah with Epstein, that's based off a real picture. It's actually
Tell
a
'em.
real. Yeah, they don't know. See, a lot of shit they don't even know. They look at it, oh, that's AI slop, not knowing that most of this shit be from real pictures, ran through AI and bringing it to life. But that Epstein and Oprah picture is real. They actually took a real picture together. She's in the Epstein files as well. You know what I mean? So
Man, make sure y'all double tap that screen, like this
yeah, like this
video,
video.
share this video, man. If y'all haven't already, we definitely
Right.
dropping some real truth, some thought provocative information, make you think. This all could be just a script that they running on all of us. It was, you know what I mean? Epstein went to jail. He definitely ain't off himself. Ghislaine really ain't in prison. All of it is just a script that they running for us, because we can't verify it as the general public. They can easily tell us on the news and tell us and say that, oh, this person is dead and this person is locked up, and it can all be lies. How could we verify it? How could we actually verify it? Just think. Let's start thinking. Now we know this person was tied into some very powerful people all over the planet. People that control the media, the mainstream media, because everybody know that if it ain't come on the regular news, the mainstream media news it'll be hard for people to believe it. If it did come across the mainstream media news, most likely people will, you know what I mean, say norm. That's basically is the truth, because the mainstream media said it. So the mainstream media, who's been known to lie, said that Epstein unalived himself and Ghislaine is in prison. They could easily lie about that. What could stop them? Who would stop them from lying about that? Who's going to stop the mainstream media from lying about that?
Yeah, right.
What's going to stop them? We know they controlled by blood-sucking vampires, blood-sucking fiends. We know that the media is controlled by vampires. So who's going to stop these bloodsuckers that eat human flesh?
I tell you, the truth is up to the
That eat
people.
human flesh. What's going to stop them from lying to us, saying that they sent so and so to jail, or they took so and so out, or so and so took itself out? Who's gonna stop them from lying about that?
The draconians. Said, is that Oprah? Hell yeah, that's Oprah.
Hell yeah, that's Oprah.
You told Hoppo beat me. Hell yeah, that's
Just think about it, y'all. Like, they could easily lie and tell us that these people are in jail when they really not, or tell us that these people are dead when they really not. They were saying that the mainstream media was using Osama bin Laden's name, and he was already dead for like 10 years, and they were saying that he the one that that did the world trade. And then you had people that were saying that he was already dead for 10 years by the time that stuff all went down. So
yeah, it came out that it was Mossad that actually did it.
Right. So why?
Actually, 9/11. You know what I'm saying?
So why wouldn't they lie to us about everything else?
Yeah, it's all just to rob your energy. That's all it's really about. Keep you because our energy is what powers the system up anyway. So as long as they can keep feeding off our energy, you know what I mean, then that's what powers the system until we wake up from out of Freddy Krueger's dream. Because Freddy only got power when you go to sleep and you dream and shit. That's how Freddy creep in. Because you sleep as hell, and when you sleep, that's easy for the monster to to creep in. So when you wake up to the shit, they no longer have power over you when you wake up, because now you know. So the thing is to keep you dormant, keep you sleep, so they can keep basically taking advantage of us while we sleep. Yeah, that's what's happening.
I want to know who still believes the mainstream media.
Uncle Sam is like our greatest uncle. That's who Uncle Sam is.
Who still believes the mainstream media and the government? Who still believes in those two corrupt entities?
I don't think too many people. It's losing its popularity real quick.
Like, do anybody believe anything the American government tell them?
Not.
Anyone still believe anything that the American government tell them? Do anybody believe what the mainstream media tell them, especially in America? In other places too. Do y'all still believe that the mainstream media is telling you the truth? Do you believe that the government is telling you the truth? Do you believe that these major corporations that sell you everything, your food, your medication, your clothing, your water, everything, do you believe that they telling you the truth? Any of these people who rule over us some type of way, are they telling us the truth? We need to start asking that question first.
I don't think
are they telling us the truth?
People buy into it. That's why they still able to maintain, because we still buying into it. So we obviously that's part of believing, because we still buying into it. Once you completely say no and you're not buying into it no more, that's when you really take your power back. But it's not enough people collectively doing it. So it's going to have to start with the individual you. Going to have to start with the individual, because collectively, but it seems like mainstream media still has somewhat of a power, because when COVID happened and everybody shut down, everybody was following suit. I ain't gonna say everybody, but majority was following suit. When the mainstream media said you gotta wear a mask, you gotta do this, do that, you gotta get your vaccines. I mean, like, people was following suit, you know. So they still have somewhat of a power with the people by making the people do whatever they say.
You know why people follow suit? Out of fear.
Yeah, that's what it is too. It's fear
and confusion.
Yep. For the simple fact they're able to broadcast spells to millions of people at one time. That's how they're able to get people. I'm telling you, like, their greatest weapon was creating that idiot box. I tell you that. Their greatest weapon was creating TV and radio. Radio and TV was the greatest weapons that they used as propaganda. They was able to broadcast into people's homes millions at a time.
They use fear. There's always fear. They use fear and scarcity. That's what they use. Fear and scarcity. Because just think about it. Like I said, during COVID, they made people take the jab or lose your job.
Yeah.
When people knew in their hearts of hearts that they rushed that jab, and they was like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to take that jab." They rushed it. They put it out there too fast. But people was like, but people jobs had them like, either you take the jab or you out the door. And it's people who live in paycheck to paycheck, people who, live in, basically been at that same gig for 30, 40, 50 years. And they like, even though they know damn well. So that's right there. That's the fear. That's the fear
They
factor right there.
they
They
use an
use fear, like,
experiment.
oh, you gonna either lose it, so they know you ain't scared of the virus no more because you ain't scared of the virus enough to take that jab because you know that jab
Right.
was rushed.
Or they use an
So they use
experiment.
other tactics, so we get them through their job then, because they control all the jobs. Like there's not a job out here that's not controlled by the government. Even the entrepreneurs and everybody are controlled by the government because government regulation controls everything. And you know who controls
Right.
government regulation? The biggest corporations who can afford it. And you
They
know who those
conduct
people with? You know who those type of people were? Epstein's.
Yeah, they
They work
conducted
with
an
people like Epstein.
experiment on a radio experiment with Orson Welles, where they basically said it was like an alien invasion. That's what, like, when they start really testing out how they can manipulate the people and make them believe some shit. They broadcast it. It was Orson Welles. It was some shit that happened over the radio, and they said it was like a alien invasion in Jersey, and people was believing that shit. People was believing in that shit. I'm pretty sure a lot of, if y'all, probably a lot of older people probably heard about Orson Welles. He's like some, writer, storyteller guy and shit. And they did like a whole radio experiment, and people really thought it was an alien invasion. They used sound effects, people screaming and shit. People actually really thought that shit was real. Look it up, Orson Welles.
Because they like, if it ain't on television, it ain't true.
I
If it
was
is
like,
on television, that means it's
all right.
true. Because just think about it, if you would have turned your TV off and turned social media off, nobody would have never knew there was a pandemic.
Exactly.
Just imagine if you ain't have no connection to the outside world, you would have never known there was a pandemic.
Yeah, this shit crazy.
And you know how I know that for sure? Because we live in an area where there's Amish, and the Amish people, when that shit first started happening, they didn't know what was going on because they didn't see nothing different. They didn't have no unusual deaths within their own community or nothing. They didn't notice anybody getting sick. And the thing is, they had to be told that because they not on social media. They don't have television. So that goes to show you right there how much of a program that was. If you didn't have social media, you ain't have a television and no outside communication to any of this shit, mainstream communication, you would have never known there was a pandemic. Because you wouldn't have been able to tell. You wouldn't have been able to tell unless you went outside and see a bunch of people wearing masks. But it ain't like you went outside and see a bunch of people dying in the street like a real pandemic. People only died in the hospital. Because if it was a real pandemic, people would have been dying. You would have been seeing people at the gas pump, laid out at the gas pump, throwing up blood or coughing their lungs out. People, you know what I mean, in the middle of the street, just dead. You would have had all that in a real pandemic. But people only suspiciously died in
the hospital, right?
Like we gotta think, like we gotta have some fucking common sense. Like we gotta start having some common sense. When they was depicting the old black, the bubonic plague, they showed motherfuckers dead in the street. Like people was dead in the street because of the virus. Like people just ain't dying in one specific place, not the hospital on a respirator. People was dying in the streets. You seen people you would walk out in the street, you would see a bunch of people laid out in the streets from a real pandemic. Think about it. Like that goes to show you how much the mainstream media comes up with lies.
I mean, that's how they able to manipulate the markets and shit by using. I'm telling you, that's the greatest weapon they ever used was the TV and radio broadcasting.
And social media now.
So now
right
social
in your pocket
media
all day.
Right.
All day in your hand.
Right.
When it was television or radio, you had to be in a designated area. Now, the programming is in your pocket 24/7. On your wrist. On your face.
Fauci and Trump made the the Jizab together. Shit, they all conspired with the Jizab. That was one big conspiracy.
And Epstein helped move the money around. Cause remember, Epstein and
It was in
Billy
the
Boy
file.
was really
Yeah,
close.
yeah. Yeah, it was correspondent emails back and forth between Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein about the pandemic. How can they, use something like that? Like there was some type of correspondence in the emails. It's crazy.
And then then Epstein asked Bill, "How can we get rid of poor people?"
That's crazy.
In one of the emails.
Well, he already went to TED Talk and spoke on how he could pretty much get the numbers down to zero. A lot more vaccines.
How to get rid of the poor people.
Population control, as they do it under too much carbon. Too much carbon in the atmosphere.
Isn't that how they was talking in the Squid Games? Just think about the people who ran the Squid Games on the show, on the series, the Squid Games on Netflix. Just think about that. Think about the mindset of the people who actually ran the Squid Games and the people who participated. They had that same exact mindset of Epstein. That shit is based on people like Epstein. You would see that's who you would see at a Squid Games. They would be the like the guest and shit like that. Epstein would be the one helping them put it together. And he would be inviting the guests. Like they literally do those type. And what were they on Squid Games on the island? They literally, I'm gonna be honest with you, they literally make those TV series after these characters. Like it'd be some real life shit.
Right.
Cause that's how that mindset reminds me of that. How could we get rid of all the poor people? And then Epstein would be like, and make it entertaining at the same time. Get rid of the poor people and make it entertaining at the same time. That's how they talk about the regular masses. That's their mind, the regular day-to-day person.
Yeah, that's the type of shit we gotta deal with these people that's supposedly running our country, running our lives. That these people are wicked as shit, and yeah, they gonna come, of course. It's already happening. Tell you the truth. Yep. He said Peter Pan. Yo, we definitely appreciate y'all tuning in to us, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to this channel. We got a lot more shit to talk about. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Yeah, I mean, and subscribe to this channel. Double tap the screen like this video and share it.
This is sponsored by nightanddayherbals.com.
This is right. Check out our website. Yep. Right.
Yeah, this is sponsored by nightanddayherbals.com. We sell natural herbal products. We got hair care and skincare products, CBD. All types of stuff on the shop for a lot of people. If you're into the health journey, we only deal with natural products. And yeah, man, we definitely appreciate everyone who's been supporting us. For sure.
Yeah, links to the shop, it will be in the description of this live stream. Make sure y'all check us out. And it's pinned in the QR code at the top. Matter of fact, let me do this. Drop down this thing that's covering up. Y'all can hit that QR code too and take you straight to the website right in the corner on the right hand side of the corner. So we definitely appreciate y'all, man. Yeah, salute to all y'all that tuned in. Shout out to all y'all that been supporting us, man. Been buying our products, been giving us gifts and super chats and cash apps and all that. We definitely appreciate all y'all that been supporting, man. And yeah, we're gonna keep this show going, man. We're gonna keep this show going because there's a lot of shit that we need to be discussed out here. Like I know a lot of other shows and podcasts be really speaking on, surface level shit.
Right.
But you gotta have podcasts that also speak on shit that's, awareness, that's bringing awareness, because some things you just can't go without. Like you gotta be aware of what's going on. So I mean, like I said, it's something for everybody out here. Some people like to, watch other people for other type of entertainment or whatever, but you need people you gotta gravitate towards, learning something that's gonna be beneficial to you too. So not just about sex podcasts and who's smashing who and who doing this and doing that. Like
we got plenty of that out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of podcasts talking about that same shit.
It's an overflow of that.
Right. So
that's because the type shit we talk about, it ain't as popular.
It ain't popular. Yeah.
The algorithm don't push it as much.
Right. And then you gotta take opportunities like with this Epstein shit that's going on, even though they use this right now as the narrative to push for the algorithm. If you're a person that's that tells the truth telling, you bringing awareness, this would be a perfect opportunity for you to use this Epstein energy that they're pushing to actually let people know what's really going on. I mean, that's basically how you do it like that, because they're gonna keep pushing the same narrative. They're gonna have the same talking points, and that's what they like. They want everybody to have the same talking points. Nah. Right, and that's the thing. All these names and people being revealed, and nobody's still going to jail. So what happens? So what you do with a system like that, where nobody's going to jail for all the wickedness that came out? It's gonna have to take the people to say, man, F this system. We just gonna say no to everything. It's coming to that. It's gonna have to, because it's getting more crazier out here. It's getting way more wicked, and way more crazier out here. So yeah. Damn, so we definitely appreciate y'all tuning in, man. We're gonna catch y'all on the next live stream. So until then, keep your head on the swivel, man. I mean, stay prayed up. You know what I'm saying? And protect y'all energy at all costs. Simple and plain. And on that note, we up out of here. Peace.
Introducing the Night and Day Self-Care Collection. Pure herbal soap and body oil, crafted from high-quality natural ingredients. nightandayherbals.com.
Self-care starts here. Pure herbal soap, luxury body oil, high-quality natural ingredients. Shop the Self-Care Collection now at nightandayherbals.com.